I'm Ryan Patterson, and I chose to do my project on the oil spill cleanup technology in Nigeria. Before I get into that, I'm going to get into the actual technology transfer in general. Technology transfer is a distribution of skills, knowledge, and/or technology. This usually is between two or more countries. However, this can occur between a government and an industry, or even two different industries. This ensures that the scientific and technological developments are able to reach a wider range of people, and new products and processes of Jesus Christ are developed in the process. Another thing I need to get into is what is a third world country. This term was coined in the Cold War, and it's used to describe a country that has a great deal of development to do with their economic, social, and political statuses and ideologies. Third world countries are usually impoverished, and they don't have the same type of resources that a nation like the U.S. or Britain would. I chose Nigeria in Africa for the project, and it's obviously off the coast because the oil spills have to do with the water, the Atlantic Ocean. This is a better glance of the region that Nigeria is in. Here's the country as a whole. You can actually see the Gulf of Guinea out here, and that's usually where the oil spills are. The problem, if you thought the BP disaster here was bad, it's dwarfed by the problems in Nigeria. It simply doesn't have the policies in place that we do that can protect it from, neighboring people dumping stuff in their Gulf. It's because of lax regulation, a lot of people really take advantage of it. It's compounded by the fact that Nigeria doesn't have the technology to help clean up the issue. So while they're not happy with the situation, there's not a lot they can do about it. The project I have in place is to implement technologies used in the infamous BP spill and use it in Nigeria. The goal is to help them clean up and actually educate them over time on how this can be prevented. The technologies involved in the BP stuff are five main technologies. Beach cleaners stuff, it pretty much combs the beach and clumps up the oil and puts it in neat piles. And then hordes, which are heavy oil recovery devices. They're used in small vessels, kind of like fishing nets, but they're able to actually get up the oil. I mean, oil's like peanut butter, so it has a pretty high viscosity. And through these, you can put them on almost any boat. You're able to just actually catch a lot of the oil. What's also important is identifying where the oil is. So unmanned aerial vehicles, in this case remote blimps, that are able to hover in one spot for a long time, will help identify where the oil concentrated areas are. Also, sand washing. It gets stuck in the sand and it's really bad. So this is considered one of the world's largest washing machines, and it's used to, process the sand so it's clean again. And the last one is a skimming vessel that pretty much goes through the water and sucks up the oil contaminated water where it's processed later. So the plan of action, the oil problem in Nigeria is no secret. The effects have been detrimental to their way of life, and it's not far-fetched to say that things like agriculture and clean water are pretty much going to be a thing of the past. To combat this, a team will be assembled in the sense of Nigeria with the aforementioned technologies and start cleaning up the age-old problems. Stuff that can get in the way, or monkey wrenches, as I like to call them. Problems could arise with the damage of equipment, the funding, obviously, and then the longevity of the project. Traveling halfway around the world, precautions will need to be taken in order to make sure all the equipment is transported safely. As far as funding goes, companies like BP, Shell, and Exxon, or what have you, they're actually looking for projects like these to take on because they're trying to clean up their image. And also, I want to say that the Nigerian government would be interested in help paying as well. I think it's part of their responsibility to make sure that they can do it. We just need to provide them the means to do so. The last and most important problem is we can probably bite off more than we can chew. I haven't been to Nigeria. I just hear the problems are bad, and when we get there, it might be more than we expected. So, I mean, I can tell you that it's terrible conditions over there, and the resources are finite; they're not infinite. And we need to combat that. We need to make reasonable goals and set benchmarks that we can only achieve. Don't try to do more than we can. and eventually, to ultimately combat the situation, is China